vibe in here today. But with that said, I would love to introduce Joyce and let her kick it off because I want to jump in on her stuff. Dorothy, did your hand just come back up or is it still up? Oh, okay, just stayed up. Okay, cool. Then I'm going to introduce Joyce. Let me make sure we're recording. We are. All right, Joyce Feustel is the founder of Boomer Social Media Tutor, where she helps business owners and job seekers, primarily age 55 and up, gain confidence on LinkedIn and Facebook. After a 17-year career in sales, Joyce launched her business at age 61, combining her natural teaching instincts and with a passion for making social media more accessible to her generation. With over 1,000 clients served, she's especially known for her warm, encouraging style and her ability to break down complex topics into manageable, practical steps. Whether working one-on-one in group coaching or through training sessions for organizations, Joyce helps her clients amplify their message, grow their network, and feel empowered online. She's also just a heck of a nice lady. And I will say, every time I meet with her, and I feel like I'm pretty good at tech stuff, and then I meet with her and I'm like, oh, I'm not doing that or that or that. Okay, great.
Mhm.
Give me all the stuff. So I cannot wait to hear. And Joyce, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Perfect. Gosh, I'm so excited to be here. A couple of quick things I wanted to mention. Lady from the Twin Cities, that's Sandy, right? Right. Okay, so I'm from Wisconsin originally, and when I moved here 30 years ago, in August, people would say, "Where are you from?" I go, "Wisconsin," something along those lines. And they say, "Oh, I figured you're from Minnesota or Wisconsin." And I go, "By your accent." Then I go, "I have an accent?" And then the movie Fargo comes out, where I practically, I'll be gross here, peed in my pants. It was so funny. Either you were offended or you thought it was hilarious. So that's my accent story. And in a way, one of my favorite jobs was working for the Chamber of Commerce here in the suburb of Lakewood, where I live, Denver, Lakewood, because I finally started talking about Colorado in the first person voice. And I got so acquainted with my community. I felt so much more connected and embedded in this, at least these western suburban parts of Denver. I did teach middle school. I've taught all grades in Sunday school, and I'll just say that I'm part of a 12-step program, Al-Anon, and I was a what they call a sponsor. You hold the space for unity, not unities, but Alateens, most of whom are between the age of about 10 and 14. I did that for 11 years. And I have a special place in my heart for that age group. Some people can't stand them, but I like them. So I just a couple of personal things I thought I'd quick share. Well, the point of LinkedIn, among many, is to help us showcase our businesses so people use our services, buy our products, grow our business. It's a wonderful tool for marketing yourself and also for networking. This presentation leans more into the marketing side, but we will touch at least upon, I would call it the networking part. So here we go into LinkedIn itself. So you'll get a slide deck of everything I'm covering, and we have the recording. I talk fast, just to warn you. So just buckle up, and here we go. So you get into LinkedIn, and you can access your profile in one of two ways. Over here is a shortcut to it, but always remember that anywhere you are on LinkedIn, you can find your profile by going to the menu bar, click on the arrow, and then it will come up. Let's start with this banner. First and foremost, LinkedIn is not an exciting place to go. It's not like TikTok or Instagram or, Facebook if you use Facebook. It is basically boring. So what are you going to do to jazz it up? And I especially think our website designer could probably help you a lot with that. And so, of course, can Lizzie and others here too. So I had someone help me make this montage, which covers a lot of territory, the logo, the ebook is coming out, my 6th edition next month. Oh my God, I started 10 years ago. And then this picture. Okay, so pay a professional. I think it's worth it, unless you're really good with Canva or something, you can pull this banner off. And unless you can find a friend and you can take a really solid picture just on a smartphone. Maybe you can. But this is a little out there. At first I didn't embrace the picture, but the more I got into it, I said, well, heck, that's me. So there you go. So have it be, do every few years. Don't have an older picture. Your name. Hey, Lizzie, I'm going to get to this in a minute. You would have, I think, Lizzie Moffat, just to pick on you for a minute, because you go by Lizzie where you don't have it on your LinkedIn. So please add it. How should Lizzie do that? She goes over here, and right after Elizabeth, she would put like little quotation mark, Lizzie, close quotation mark. Then people know to call her that. If she maybe only recently got married, let's just pretend, and she had another name for a long time, then you could put it there for additional name. And while we're at it, here's also where you can update your headline. And I'll use Lizzie again as an example down here. I want to show you, if you live in a suburb, like many of you do live in suburbs of Denver, don't put in Arvada or Littleton. No, you want to go here, and then you can pick Denver metro area. I think possibly Brighton will let you do that. But if you want to label as Brighton, that's fine. Or Boulder. Boulder is, big enough town, that's fine. Because that's what displays right here. Then for your headline, personally, I think SEO phrases are important. Some people have more narratives here, somewhat stylistic and individual, that to help you get found, say what you do. Say what you do first, because when you make a comment on somebody's post, if you've ever looked for this now, the first maybe 3 or 4 words of your profile will trail with you when it has your picture and your name. So think about that. You can have 220 characters. You have to fill it all up, but don't be skimping on that if you have, more to say than what you have now. So make it more than a job title, if nothing else. Then over here, we're going to go down to our contact info. Now, here's something that a lot of people, if you're not on LinkedIn, like Renee said, you haven't been spending a lot of time on it lately, you may not realize you can customize the LinkedIn URL. And actually, I have this on my business cards. So how do you do that? So you go, there's a couple places to do it, but I'm going to do it from here. And see, you can click on this pencil, and then again on this little box here. And now we're into this behind the scenes screen where you can go in, and there you go. So type in, Lizzie Moffat website designer or whatever, Renee Hathaway business banker, or you could put in your company if you wanted to. You have 100 characters. And while you're in there, watch this, folks. Do a double check and make sure that the blue button is next to public. Once in a while, I'll see it up here or here, but if it's not public, that means people who don't have a LinkedIn account won't be able to see you on LinkedIn. Like my own daughter is 41, works in nonprofits, never had a LinkedIn account, doesn't need one. So not everybody, I should say this at the outset, really needs to be on LinkedIn. So that's just a little bit about it. All of a sudden I lost this here. Okay. So then, and make sure this email is your work email. If you've not been dinking around with LinkedIn, maybe it has, I don't know, a Yahoo, Hotmail, Gmail, whatever, but make sure it is one. And then you go here, and then see, you can go and add that email. And you know what I can do, Lizzie, when that ebook comes out, the 6th edition, I'll send it to you. And then you could forward it to these ladies that are here today. I think that'll help. And one more thing I wanted to show you, this contact info. Naturally, you would think to add your own company website, right? But think about other things. Think maybe about your polka dot group. There's a thought. Or any other place where you're involved. What about a YouTube channel, maybe? I just recently added that. And then here is the link to my LinkedIn company page, which I did just last night when I was practicing for this. So I thought I've changed these out over time. So that's all in contact info. And anybody can see those websites, even if they're not connected to you, just so you know. I just realized something I was going to do and I forgot. Let's close out my messages. Woo! You have to see all my private business, right? Okay, going down here. So we're through this top part and we have questions at the end. So, make notes of ones you want to ask me about. Now, about section. Here's the hardest part, I think, especially for a woman, on a generalization here, especially if you're older like me, you're not brought up to brag yourself up. Well, you got to get over that, right? You got to be your best cheerleader ever. So think about ways to grab people's attention. I've also worked with ChatGPT a bit on this. So people right away can see, oh, well, maybe, maybe not. But see all the white space in here? See my clients, our sessions. You can, but focus on what you're doing now, the direction you're going. Think of it more like big picture, visionary kind of thing. And it's about you. Your business part, that comes a little later, the more detailed part. And then get a nice business, get a testimonial. See, I have this from my business coach. Get one is plenty. And then, talk about the fact you were a teacher or whatever else you've done prior to having your business. Just a tiny bit of context so people know. So see, that's where I did this here. Finally, I do get to the name of my business, which I did think about last night. Should I put that earlier? No, I think it's okay for now. And then here's another place to bring up the polka dot, the other entities that you're part of, business groups, maybe a little bit of personal information. That's like Toastmasters would be more like that. you can put that to the extent you're comfortable doing it. 2,600 characters is your limit. A lot of people would have shorter abouts than I do, but I don't know, just the way I felt like I wanted to put all that in there. And don't forget about the top skills, because let me just go back out of this for a minute. I'll go all the way back and back to my profile. People ask me or say, what are these top 5 skills? These haven't been around for more than maybe a year or two, and it's not real clear how to add them. So this is what you do. You go to this pencil to the right of about, and then see down below the summary part we have here at the top where the box is. This is where you add the skills. So what you will see is you'll see a little bubble. So think of your top 5 skills you want people to know you for. You're going to probably have them at the top of your skills list. So that's a good place to look. Also look in maybe what you put up in your profile headline. Those are good clues for places to find them. And I think these are great because skills are quite a ways down into the profile. And also, you're about, see how you only see the first 2 lines or so? The skills will jump right out and go, oh, I better learn more about this gal. So they can click on see more. So that's the top 5 skills. Now, next we're up to featured. Oh my gosh, remember how I said LinkedIn is boring? Let's face. So one way to bring some color, some interest into it is to add items into the featured section. How do you do that? You go up to add a profile section, and you can do this for any section you see somebody else has and you don't have. So add a profile section, and there's 3 groupings. There's core, recommended, and additional. Right now we're going to focus on recommended because there's add feature. And when you go into it and having not populated, you'll just see a little graphic in this area, and you'll see a plus sign. So you can feature a post, a newsletter, I'll show you mine, an article, a little bit longer version of a post, a link to somewhere, like that could be like a YouTube video, for example. Media, a picture of you, could use like a PowerPoint could be used, just things like that. And you can move around how the order in which things are featured. It's especially important because on the phone, where most people would be looking, they only see this first featured item, which, as you see here, is my newsletter, which we can talk about a little bit, time permitting. But that's something called a LinkedIn newsletter. So it's housed on LinkedIn. So if you like to write, you feel that you have a message, things you want to share about, go for it. I just do mine once a month. I can pull that off. And I use material usually already have written. Here's the lady coming up for my next meetup group. Here's something about my LinkedIn, enhance your LinkedIn profile. So it's kind of like front page news, so to speak. So now going down, we have the experience section, which is the most resume-like section, but it doesn't have to be, exactly. If you had a job that you had elements of what you do now in that job, but that wasn't your job title, just say then what you did. You have 100 characters. So break it out. You can split it into like that. See with the little up and down line? That's when you hold down your shift key and the backward slash. That's how you can do that. And also, ladies, if you offer more than one service or have different products you want to emphasize, you can have different, these are called positions for under your company. So here's my basic coaching work that I do. Then we have having these LinkedIn profile workshops. And then I have LinkedIn training and presenting, and there's a couple more. So if we open this up here, we'll see you have 2,000 characters. Don't have to use them all, but a brief description of what you do. What are these services? Again, this is more focused on your company and its services than necessarily you personally. And here's, I have room for another LinkedIn testimonial. And notice down here toward the bottom, you can associate skills with each position. You can have media, like pictures, again, much of what we saw above, but not you couldn't put a post in here or an article or newsletter. It's more of the other ones like the videos and still photography. Then going down, put in leadership. Say you have, I'll keep using Polka Dot because several of you are in it. Maybe you run a chapter. Maybe you're a membership coordinator, whatever the titles are. Put those in here because you know what? It promotes that organization, right? And did you know what? You can have people write you a recommendation, which comes down a little bit later. If you have it in the experience section, that role, I mean, if you had it only under volunteering, then they couldn't write you uh, a recommendation through LinkedIn, at least. Education. Hey, guess what? This is the only section of your profile where you don't have to put the year in. Some of you are in that kind of magic age group. I'd say between maybe 25 and 45, where it doesn't matter you went to school. They don't care. Otherwise, you get older, like, oh, how old is she anyway? Like, really, it's none of their business, no matter what. So just take it out. That's what I have to say about that. Okay. And then talk about things you did, in like, here's one kind of interesting one. As an undergraduate, I was one of, first off, I got this big award. I was one of 6 graduates who received this top graduate award. I did volunteer work as an academic advisor. Who's the gal that works with the college students? Um, yeah, Tanika. We should talk. And it led to me helping to change the whole course of the calendar. So it was one of the biggest accomplishments of my lifetime, I think. And it led to getting this cool award, which I'll talk about in just a minute. You have a teacher's license. Maybe you were still teaching, maybe you subbed. So you could keep that if you want to, maybe it's expired, but you could still have it to show you were a teacher. It's up to you. Projects could work. Again, might use Polkadot on that. If you had, again, a membership drive or something special you did with them, or another group, or maybe you could list, I don't know, soccer team coaching could be under volunteering. But I like how you can, through projects and volunteering, the full of you, the 360 of you degrees can come out. And they could see, oh, Joyce is a Toastmaster. Oh, I thought I recognized her. And if you've done a lot of volunteering, whatever group it might be, I say don't have all your different positions you've held. Oh my gosh, that would overwhelm the profile, right? No, aggregate them into one position. See, like I've done here, and say what you're doing now, see other things you did. Again, this goes way back, but that's okay because I was doing higher level of leadership back in the 2000s. Now, remember I talked about skills. Only 2 skills show on the kind of, we'll call it the public viewing side of LinkedIn. No, but think about what if you added a couple skills, but they really weren't your top skills? What do? Okay, you go to the little 3 dots here and reorder. And now see how you can change these around. Like, for example, I will say now, well, maybe coaching. I think this is a kind of a flip between coaching and consulting, but I think I'm mostly a coach and a trainer, somewhat a consultant, whatever. It's up there, it's third one. They'll see it if they look inside of it. But that's how you can move these around. And you have actually up to 100 skills. It used to be only 50. So I think, add more skills or take out the ones that are irrelevant. Do that too. Now, recommendations, ask for them. Just ask for them. It's not hard. I can show you in a minute how to do that. And give them too. Think if you're going to write a Google review for somebody in their business, why not write them a recommendation, right? You have to be connected though on LinkedIn to endorse someone for a skill or give a recommendation. So for example, I'll just go real quick with Lizzie. So Elizabeth, I know you're there. Moffett, M-O-F-F. There you are. Okay. So say I was to ask her, I'll just do that. Like, why not? So I'm going to go to more. And by the way, I love your whole visual up here. Just work on, oh, I see. There you have Ford, but you could still put Lucy in there if you wanted. Okay. Where am I? Okay. Now I want to ask a recommendation. All right. See how I did this? So we'll say we worked in different companies. It's very corporate. So you just don't let that bother you. And so up here, I would say, ooh, I think it would be LinkedIn trainer and presenter, right? That makes sense. So I'm just going to click on send. Normally you'd write a little note, right? And then email them because who the heck hangs out on LinkedIn except for me, maybe. But then just give them a heads up that you did that so they know to write you the recommendation through LinkedIn. Now to finish off down here, publications. Anybody here written maybe an article for a school district newsletter, maybe, or for another company you work for, or for me, that ebook that I've been talking about. So that's the kind of thing you don't think it has to be a whole book. I've written a couple chapters of a book. Maybe some of you have done that. Courses are more like, I would say, professional development kinds of courses in your field. This isn't like going back to college courses. And then honors and award. This, I'm very proud of getting this award through my Chamber of Commerce. Hey, how am I on time, Lizzie? Can you just pipe in and tell me?
Yep, we've what if you get another 8 minutes and we'll just do one or two questions quickly at the end.
Okay, that sounds good. I think that should be perfect. So those are things, and see, I even go back all the way to this one from college. And the thing of it all, you got to realize this does give the years away. You know, everybody can do the math, but for me, frankly, part of my shtick is that I am old. I am 76 years old, and you don't usually meet people like me at who are age 76. I mean, I'm just making somewhat a generalization. And here's where your polka dot can come out again. I actually list Toastmasters like probably 3 different places within my profile. So now we're going to pop over to connecting with people. So I gotta make sure I have that right on my slide deck. So really, LinkedIn is our connections that in many ways drive our experience. You want to be selective. Just because somebody asks you to connect doesn't mean you should accept it. You know, here's what you can do is this quick, let me show you this cool trick. So let's see, I go to show all. Now I can go and see, I can go to, oh, there's Sydney. I like Sydney, so we'll accept her in a minute. But Miriam, product and growth, we franchise, I've already looked her up. But I'm going to send her a message just to practice, just so we show you. Thanks for the invite. Oops. The invite. What prompted you to reach out to me? Like that, okay? See how straightforward that is? I call that, where's the Sandy from the Midwest? It's nice, but but direct and direct. Don't use a button. So there we go. We'll send that off. I'm not sure. I think it's because of where my little thing is down here. Okay. It's okay if I don't. I'll send that later if I can't get it done now. So then, but now we're back here and we have, what happened to, oh, well, that was so weird because I just saw your name. Nancy sent. So you might have to send that again. Oh, I'm just gonna discard that message. What, might want to resend that. Who is the person that just sent me that message? I know I saw it. Sydney, where'd you go? Isn't that weird? Maybe it's just I have to refresh or something. Reload. But I want to get, oh, there you are. Okay, because I wanted to show you. Watch this. So I'm going to accept Sydney, and then I'm going to say a little note, you know, great to be connected. Something like that. Now, afterwards, see, part of this, I have this deal going because of my hearing loss, I have this transcript going in front of me, and it makes it hard to do certain things because I can't move it. But you know how you could do that, so we're just going to leave that. Okay, so that's the deciding, thinking about it. And I would have your own set criteria for who are the people you want to connect with. No, certainly I could probably do business with Sydney, not business with, but but she could be a good business connection. These other people, not. Oh, and one other thing, you will get invites to attend events. You probably noticed this, to subscribe to a newsletter, things like that, to follow somebody's page. So another thing I want to talk about now in my few minutes is posting. So when you want to start a post, you go here, start a post, and just type. It's just like Instagram or Facebook or other things. You want to ideally add a visual. This is where you can add the visual right there. And then you can even schedule it. LinkedIn was kind of slow on this, but you can schedule to the exact, see, like day and time. If you want to schedule out your post, you can do that. If you want to write an article, it's just a little different format. See, it has the picture, it has title, then it also could be, it has more of a polished look. So you can have list and bold. I think the best way to show you this is to take you over to my LinkedIn newsletter, which is really a collection of articles. So here it is, LinkedIn Tips and Insights. So this is the one I wrote right before this class, where I actually had this as a blog post that I kind of updated a little bit, use a visual I liked. But notice here how you can have headers, you can have these lists. So it just has a different feel to it than the posts, which are often shorter, not necessarily more time-centric, but I think if something is coming up and it's an event and assume, I don't know that an article would make sense, but maybe after it happened, as you were musing about this particular activity, you could think, oh, wow, maybe I could write, me. I learned a lot doing that. Here's some tips I could give in the form of an article. A LinkedIn newsletter school, we could talk about that more in the Q&A, but I don't know that I'd go all that route unless you were regularly posting. So now what about other people? Jen, I already commented on her, but just this right in front of me, she had another post earlier today. So again, it's similar to other types of social media. You can comment. You just go see right there. I start writing my comment. You can repost always with your point of view. And then you can do one of these emojis. I often use insightful on LinkedIn because that's a lot of the articles or the posts lend themselves to that or whatever you see. But if I wanted to go and see other things that Jen had posted, because she's in an adjacent field of marketing and she's on LinkedIn a lot. See, so I'm going to go down to her activity. See this? And I could do her posts, her comments, other things. So then I could go scrolling through all her posts. I mean, it does take a little bit of time, but maybe she's a client of yours, this person is. Maybe they're a good referral partner. So you want to keep up with these people. And then that really helps getting your own activity higher when you connect with other people in this way. And you approach LinkedIn as how can I help other people, not like how can I show up, which is certainly an underplay of it. I guess it's not quite the word I want, but we're doing this to help get visibility. But don't do it like, oh, I do this, I do that. Think of it more as like a servant leader, is somebody who wants to be of service to your LinkedIn following. I think that's a good point to stop with all these. Also, you can track with your notifications. In my sessions, I help with people to clean up the notifications so you're not barraged with all these stupid emails and things kind of clogging up your notifications. Oh, I hate that. So then you can see if people maybe commented on a post, you want to get back on that and reply to their comment. So not that you have to live on LinkedIn, maybe a couple times a week you can go in and do all this stuff. So I'll leave LinkedIn up so we have time then now for question and answer before we go to the breakouts.
Great. Joyce, we've got a question from Lisa. Lisa, would you like me to read it for you?
Yes.
Okay. Sure. Okay. What do you do to decide to whether to put something on your personal LinkedIn versus your business LinkedIn page?
Oh, great
Example, if you
question.
write a newsletter, can you put it in both locations?
You can create a newsletter through your company page, first off. So that might be a thought. I think I use my company page not as well as I might, but I think one idea is to start with a company page, post it there, and then you can just take that and click on the top three dots, top right-hand corner, three dots, and then just share it to your personal profile. So I think that depends. If you have something very company centric and your company is more than just you, I know we could talk offline about that. But I
So
think
my company is just me. So so my viewpoint is coming from like my company is me. I don't have any other employees.
right. And the thing with it, Lisa, I will say that our personal side of LinkedIn gets a lot more attention than our company side does.
Okay.
So I would post it in both places probably. Are we gonna even have time for a breakout room discussion? I hope we do.
I think we might be better served to take one or two more questions and then just have a chat.
I think that's
Right.
probably what other questions do we have? I'd love to see what else people want to know about.
Question was what I was going to ask too, and you worded it well. So now read yours again. You said, what would be the high level difference between LinkedIn newsletters, posts, and articles?
Well, a post, I think, is when, that, like, for example, after this, I could post about being here with you all and what I liked about it. If we have that visual that you had that you created for me, I could still do that after the fact. So it'd be kind of like event, kind of time-centric activities could be it, or could be a quick tip. I have something called Tuesday Tip. And I had it most recently on present like Lydia. So it's sort of think about almost like a daily diary or blog. So if I go down and show you this, let me find this really quick in my own, just go back to me here. So I got a lot of mileage out of this one, I think. This is here, my own post, so I'm going to them. So I posted about this lady's presentation. See, I'm a Toastmaster, so I notice things that maybe other people wouldn't necessarily track with. And so I talked about Lydia and her, here she is, see? Tuesday tip, present like Lydia. So maybe come up with a tip. It doesn't have to necessarily even be in your field, but some business tip, business related tip. And see, so today, see where I wrote all this, I actually went to ChatGPT for a little bit of help on the wording in the start items. And then of course I tagged her, I tagged the West Chamber of Commerce that sponsored it. She was so excited to get this picture. She said, can I use that? I said, well, of course, Lydia. So then an article, I think, is more reflective and bigger picture. When I think of my own articles, which I actually stopped doing since I started having a newsletter, but like here's one kind of longer. I wanted to make a point here. How can you attract, I gave a talk on this, attract, engage, and retain employees. So you see, it's more of a like a mini white paper almost. And then the newsletters is when you want to have, all these different kinds of things. I focus it. Say you have a really focused thing. So say, Lisa, you were going to do a whole newsletter on using AI with your websites. Just pretend for a minute. And all your articles, or just develop websites in general. So see how my newsletter is all about LinkedIn. I don't talk about Facebook. I don't talk about other topics. I just talk about LinkedIn. So, and then see if you go down on this, you're going to see all of my issues so easy. Isn't this boom, 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 boom? So it's like you can track with me, and I write about the different components of the profile and what to do on LinkedIn. Other questions? One thing I want to mention before, because some people have to drop off and maybe have already, I want to offer you a reduced rate on a session with me. Normally, I would charge $165 to folks per hour. That's if you're between the age of 25 and 59. But my reduced rate is one I offer to people 60 or older or job seekers. So it goes from 165 to 125. So $125 per hour. We could do a lot. I mean, you've already learned a lot just in this time together. So we could work on your LinkedIn profile. We could talk a little bit about the use of LinkedIn. Usually I have a 2-session package, one on the profile, 1 hour in profile, and 1 hour on the use of LinkedIn. That's $297. Or if you wanted 2 sessions, I could give you that for $230. Just throw out a couple of possibilities, but usually an hour might be plenty. Any other questions?
I have great things from people who have worked with you, so I'm going to throw that out there.